The day I discovered my sister's betrayal started like any other Tuesday, with me celebrating another milestone for my business. The notification pinged on my phone. Congratulations, your store has reached 100,000 sales. I remember smiling, thinking about how far I'd come from selling handmade jewelry from my garage. I'm Isabel, and I built my online empire from scratch. 5 years of late nights, countless failures, and, finally, success. My artisanal jewelry line had gone viral on social media, and orders were pouring in faster than I could handle them. "This calls for champagne," Duncan declared, spinning in his chair in my home office. As my best friend and unofficial business advisor, he'd been there through every up and down. "It's barely noon," I laughed, but I was already heading to the kitchen where I kept a bottle chilling, just in case. That's when I saw it. The notification from my accounting software. Unusual transaction pattern detected. "Hold that thought," I called out to Duncan, clicking through to my dashboard. The numbers didn't add up. They hadn't for months, apparently. "Duncan?" My voice cracked. "Can you come look at this?" He rolled his chair over, his playful expression fading as he scanned the screen. "These withdrawals, they're systematic. Someone's been siphoning money from your business account." My hands trembled as I dug deeper. Regular transfers, always just below the threshold that would trigger automatic alerts. Clever. The destination account looked familiar. "Oh God," I whispered, recognition hitting me like a punch to the gut. "That's Laurel's account." "Your sister?" Duncan leaned closer, frowning. "Are you sure?" I nodded, memories flooding back. Laurel, my younger sister, had helped set up my payment systems when I first started. She'd always been the tech-savvy one, while I was the creative force. I'd trusted her completely. My phone buzzed. Speak of the devil. A text from Laurel. "Hey sis, Wayne and I picked a date for the wedding, having dinner at Mum and Dad's tonight to announce it. You'll be there, right?" Duncan read the message over my shoulder. "Isabel. She's been stealing from me to fund her lifestyle," I said, my voice hollow. "All those designer clothes, the luxury vacations with Wayne, that ridiculous engagement ring she's been flaunting." I pulled up her Instagram. There she was, my baby sister, posing on a yacht last weekend. The caption read, "Living my best life." My phone buzzed again. "Mum this time. Dinner at 7. Don't be late. Your sister has big news." "What are you going to do?" Duncan asked softly. I stared at the numbers on my screen. Nearly $200,000 gone. My hands clenched into fists. "I should confront her right now," I said, standing up. "Call her out in front of everyone at dinner." Duncan grabbed my arm. "Wait, think this through. You need evidence, something concrete. If you go in guns blazing, she'll just deny everything." He was right, of course. Laurel had always been the family favourite, the charming one who could talk her way out of anything. Even as kids, she'd break my toys and somehow convince our parents it was my fault. "I can help you track the money trail," Duncan offered. "Build a solid case, but you need to play it cool for now." My phone chimed again. Laurel. "Also, I want you to be my maid of honor. We'll talk details tonight. Love you." I felt sick. All those times she'd gushed about my success, asked detailed questions about the business, offered to help with the accounts. She'd been plotting this all along. "Fine," I replied to her message, my fingers shaking with rage. "Can't wait!" I looked at Duncan, my mind already forming a plan. "You're right. I'll play along. Let her have her perfect engagement, plan her dream wedding. Isabel." Duncan's voice held a warning note. "And then," I continued, a cold smile forming on my lips, "I'll give her exactly what she deserves, in front of everyone she's ever tried to impress with my money." I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. Time to go congratulate my dear sister on her engagement. "Where are you going?" Duncan called after me. "To dinner," I replied, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. "I have a maid of honor speech to start planning." As I drove to my parents' house, memories of Laurel's past manipulations played through my mind like a highlight reel of betrayal. But this time would be different. This time, I wouldn't be the forgiving big sister. This time, karma would have a name, and it would be mine. You need to see this, Duncan said, sliding his laptop across my desk. It had been 3 days since the family dinner, where I'd somehow managed to smile through Laurel's engagement announcement while my insides burned with rage. The screen showed a detailed spreadsheet of transactions, each withdrawal, each transfer, meticulously documented with timestamps and amounts. She got sloppy towards the end, Duncan explained, pointing to recent transactions. Started taking larger amounts, probably for the wedding. I leaned back in my chair, exhausted. I'd barely slept since discovering the theft, spending nights reviewing security footage from my office. There she was, my own sister, staying late after our weekly coffee meets, using my computer when I'd step out for calls. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. Laurel's asking about bridesmaid dress shopping this weekend. Says you haven't responded to her messages. I can't keep pretending everything's normal, I told Duncan, ignoring the message. You should have seen her at dinner, going on about her amazing business instincts and how she's manifested her dream life. We need more, Duncan insisted. Bank statements, email trails, everything. Make it bulletproof. A knock at my office door made us both jump. It was Ellie, one of Laurel's bridesmaids and our childhood friend. Hey, she chirped, uninvited but breezing in anyway. Thought I'd find you here. Laurel's freaking out because you're not responding to the wedding planning group chat. I forced a smile. Just busy with work. You know how it is. Ellie perched on my desk, examining her manicure. She's worried you're upset about something. Said you've been acting weird since the engagement dinner. Duncan caught my eye, subtly shaking his head. Everything's fine, I lied. Just dealing with some business issues. Business issues? Ellie's head snapped up. But Laurel said your sales are better than ever. Of course she did. She had access to all my numbers. Speaking of business, Duncan cut in smoothly, we have a meeting in 5 minutes, Ellie. After she left, I slumped in my chair. She's going to tell Laurel I'm acting suspicious. Then stop acting suspicious, Duncan said firmly. Go to the dress fittings. Play the excited big sister. Meanwhile, I'll keep digging. That evening, I found myself scrolling through old photos on my laptop. There we were, Laurel and me as kids, making jewellery with Mum's old beads. I'd loved it. Laurel had only cared about wearing the finished pieces. A new email notification popped up. Wedding venue quotes Laurel had forwarded. The prices made my blood boil. I was literally paying for my own sister's dream wedding. My phone rang. Dad. Princess, he said when I answered. Everything okay? Your mother's worried? I swallowed hard. Dad had always been my rock, the one person who saw through Laurel's act, but even he had been fooled lately. I'm fine, Dad, really. You know you can tell me anything, right? His voice was gentle. Like you did when Laurel broke your science project in 8th grade but blamed it on the cat? I almost broke then. Almost told him everything. I remember, I managed, but I'm okay. Promise. After hanging up, I texted Duncan. Need a drink, Murphy's in 20. At the bar, I showed him what I'd found. Emails where Laurel had redirected supplier payments to her personal account, carefully deleted but recovered from server backups. This is good, Duncan nodded, examining my phone. But we need... Isabel? We both froze. Wayne, Laurel's fiancé, was standing at our table. Mind if I join you? He pulled up a chair before we could answer. Actually, I'm glad I ran into you. I wanted to talk about Laurel. My heart pounded. Did he know? She seems... different lately, he continued, looking troubled. Secretive. Always on her phone, hiding the screen when I come near. And these expensive wedding plans. He shook his head. I'm not sure where it's all coming from. I met Duncan's eyes across the table. Here was my chance to tell Wayne everything, but Duncan's slight headshake stopped me. Not yet. Not without ironclad proof. I'm sure she's just excited about the wedding, I heard myself say. You know Laurel, she's always dreamed big. Wayne nodded but didn't look convinced. After he left, Duncan grabbed my arm. We're close, he said. Give me 1 more week to compile everything. Then we'll decide how to handle this. I watched Wayne's retreating back, guilt gnawing at me. He was a good guy who had no idea he was marrying a thief. 1 week, I agreed, pulling up the wedding planning group chat. Time to play my part. Sorry for being MIA, I typed. Can't wait for dress shopping this weekend. The response was immediate. A flood of heart emojis from Laurel. Each one felt like another twist of the knife in my back. The bridal boutique was exactly as pretentious as I'd expected. Crystal chandeliers, champagne flutes, and price tags that made my stomach turn, especially knowing whose money was really paying for all this. Isn't this perfect? Laurel twirled in a designer gown that cost more than my first car. I mean, it's a bit over budget, but she caught my eye in the mirror. Maybe you could help? As a wedding gift. The audacity nearly made me choke on my champagne. I thought you said business was going great at the consulting firm. I kept my voice light, curious to see how she'd respond. Oh, it is. She smoothed the dress nervously. But you know, with the wedding venue deposit and everything. The venue you already paid for? I raised an eyebrow. That was fast. A flash of something panic crossed her face before she recovered. Wayne's parents helped. Ellie bounced over with another dress. Try this one, it's divine. I slipped away to the bathroom, needing a moment. My phone buzzed. Duncan sending screenshots of more evidence. He'd traced the money through 3 different accounts Laurel had set up. The amount stolen had grown to nearly $250,000. When I returned, Laurel was having what looked like an intense phone conversation in the corner. No, listen, she hissed, not noticing me. I told you I'd handle it. The money will be there. Yes, all of it. I just need more time. She jumped when I cleared my throat. Everything okay? Fine. Her voice was too bright. Just wedding planner stuff. Actually, can we talk outside for a minute? In the alley behind the boutique, Laurel lit a cigarette, a habit she'd supposedly quit years ago. I need to ask you something, she said, exhaling smoke. About the business. My heart raced. Was she going to confess? I was wondering if you'd consider making me a partner. I stared at her, speechless. Think about it. She grabbed my hands. We could be an unstoppable team. I already know everything about how it runs and... Everything about how it runs? I pulled away. What exactly do you mean by that? Just that I've been paying attention. She backpedaled quickly. I'm so proud of what you've built, Izzy. I want to be part of it. Officially. Like you were part of my science fair project in 8th grade? She blinked. What? You know when you broke my project the night before and blamed the cat? Dad just reminded me about that recently. Oh my God, are you seriously bringing that up now? She laughed nervously. We were kids. Some things never change, do they? The boutique door opened before she could respond. Ladies, Ellie called out. We found the perfect dress. Back inside, I watched Laurel pose and preen in what would indeed be her perfect wedding dress. The other bridesmaids cooed and took photos while I noticed Wayne's mother in the corner, looking worried as she examined the price tag. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Wayne. Can we meet? Need to talk about something important. Everything okay? Laurel asked, catching my expression. Just business stuff. I mimicked her earlier tone. I met Wayne at a coffee shop an hour later. He looked troubled, fidgeting with his cup. I found something weird, he said finally. I was using Laurel's laptop and saw some bank statements open. The numbers. They don't make sense with what she makes at work. My chance had arrived. I could tell him everything right now. Have you asked her about it? I managed instead. She said they were business investments, that she's been day trading. He ran a hand through his hair. But something feels off, and now she's insisting we move the wedding up to next month instead of waiting until spring. Next month. My coffee cup froze halfway to my mouth. That wasn't the plan. Why the rush? She says when you know, you know. He attempted a smile. But honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I know anything at all. My phone lit up with a text from Duncan. Urgent. Come to the office now. I have to go, I told Wayne, standing up. But trust your instincts, okay? At the office, Duncan was pacing. She's trying to transfer everything out, he said without preamble. All the money, all at once. I managed to freeze most of the accounts, but she's getting desperate. That's why she's rushing the wedding. I sank into my chair. She wants to take everything and disappear after the wedding. No, Duncan corrected grimly. She needs to pay someone back. Soon. I found threatening messages in her email. Whoever she's involved with, they're not playing around. My little sister wasn't just a thief. She was in serious trouble. And I had to decide, expose her now or watch her self-destruct. You can't seriously still be planning to wait, Duncan argued, pacing my living room. It was midnight, and we'd spent hours reviewing the threatening emails Laurel had received. She's in deep with some dangerous people. Which is exactly why I need to be smart about this, I countered, rubbing my temples. If I expose her now, she'll just run. And then what? My phone buzzed. Another message from Dad. Coming by your office tomorrow. Need to talk. Your father knows something's wrong, Duncan said, reading over my shoulder. Maybe it's time to tell him. A sharp knock at my door made us both jump. I checked the peephole and froze. It's Ellie. Duncan quickly closed the laptop as I opened the door. What are you doing here so late? Ellie pushed past me, her face flushed. I know what you're planning. My heart stopped. What? I saw you and Duncan at the coffee shop today, then at your office. She crossed her arms. And I saw Wayne there too. You're trying to sabotage Laurel's wedding, aren't you? That's ridiculous, I started, but she cut me off. She told me you've always been jealous of her, that you can't stand she's getting married first, that she's more successful. More successful? I laughed bitterly. Is that what she told you? Ellie, Duncan stepped forward, you don't know what's really going on. I know enough. She pulled out her phone. And if you don't back off, I'll show Laurel these photos of your little secret meetings. After she stormed out, I collapsed onto my couch. Well, that's great. She's bluffing, Duncan said. She doesn't know anything. But she's watching us now. And she'll warn Laurel. My phone chimed with a text from an unknown number. Back off, or everyone learns your secrets too. I showed Duncan. See, Laurel's already fighting back. The next morning, Dad was waiting in my office when I arrived. Princess, he said, hugging me, we need to talk about your sister. I tensed. What about her? She came to me yesterday, very upset. He sat down heavily. Said you've been acting strange, hostile even. Said you're threatening to ruin her wedding. Did she tell you why I might be upset with her? She mentioned something about you being stressed about the business. He leaned forward. Is that what this is about? Are you in some kind of trouble? The concern in his eyes nearly broke me. Dad, because if you need money... Wait, what? Laurel said you might be struggling, that's why you're acting out. She offered to help, you know, said she'd give you a loan. I couldn't help it. I laughed. The sound was harsh, borderline hysterical. A loan? With what money, Dad? Her salary from the consulting firm that barely pays above minimum wage? Or maybe with the money she stole from me? The words hung in the air between us. What did you just say? I opened my laptop, hands shaking. Look. I turned the screen toward him, showing the evidence Duncan and I had gathered. She's been stealing from me for months. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Dad's face went pale as he scrolled through the documents. This can't be right. It gets worse. I told him about the threatening messages, the rushed wedding, everything. When I finished, he sat in silence for a long moment. Does your mother know? No one knows except Duncan. And now you. He stood up suddenly. I'm going to talk to her, right now. Dad, wait. She needs to understand. If you confront her, she'll run. I grabbed his arm. She's scared and desperate. Let me handle this. Handle it how? His voice was sharp. By exposing her at her wedding? Is that your plan? Before I could respond, my office door burst open. Laurel stood there, mascara streaking her face. How could you? She screamed. Ellie just told me everything. You're trying to ruin my life. Dad stepped between us. Laurel, we need to talk about the money. She froze, looking from him to me. What money? Don't, I warned. Don't you dare deny it. Her face changed, a cold smile replacing the tears. prove it. Prove anything. Who do you think they'll believe? The jealous sister trying to ruin a wedding? Or the bride? She spun on her heel and left, slamming the door. Dad sank back into his chair. What have you gotten yourself into, Princess? I showed him the latest threatening text I'd received. Last warning. Drop it, or else. I don't know, I admitted, but I'm about to find out. The rehearsal dinner was tomorrow and I couldn't sleep. My phone lit up with another message from Mom. Please talk to your sister. She's crying in her old bedroom. Whatever this fight is about, it's not worth ruining her special day. I rolled over and called Duncan. Can't sleep either, he answered immediately. The video evidence isn't uploading properly, I said. What if the projector fails tomorrow? What if... A loud crash downstairs made me jump. Hold on, I whispered. Someone's in my house. Call the police, Duncan said urgently. I'm on my way. I crept down the stairs, phone ready to dial 911. A figure stood in my dark kitchen. Don't move, I said loudly, flipping on the lights. Or what? Wayne turned around, his eyes red. You'll add breaking and entering to the list of crimes you're accusing your sister of? How did you get in? He held up a key. Laurel gave me her spare, said I might need it someday. He laughed bitterly. Guess she was right. I lowered my phone. Wayne, show me, he demanded. Show me whatever evidence you have that's got everyone so worked up. 10 minutes later, we sat at my kitchen table, my laptop open between us. Jesus Christ, he muttered, scrolling through the files. The wedding venue, the dress, the honeymoon. She paid for everything with your money. Not just that. I pulled up the threatening emails. She's involved with something bigger. Someone's pressuring her for payment. Wayne's face went ashen. The gambling? What? She said it was just a hobby, playing poker online. He ran his hands through his hair. Said she was good at it, making extra money. I believed her because suddenly we could afford all these things. Headlights flashed through the window as Duncan's car pulled up. I can't marry her, Wayne said quietly. Not now. The wedding's in 3 days, I reminded him. Then help me stop it. He looked up desperately. Before the rehearsal dinner, before she can hurt anyone else. Duncan burst in, ready for intruders, then relaxed, seeing Wayne. We have a problem, I told him. The video file's corrupted. What? Duncan grabbed my laptop. No, the backup. Is gone too. I'd checked earlier. Someone got into the cloud storage. Laurel, Wayne confirmed. She's been acting strange all day, glued to her computer. My phone buzzed, an email from an anonymous account. The subject line made my blood run cold. Watch your back, sis. Attached was a video of me, clearly filmed through my bedroom window working late at night, then another of me meeting Wayne at the coffee shop, and finally one of Dad leaving my office in tears. She's having me stalked, I whispered. Not her, Wayne said grimly. The people she owes money to. They're watching all of us, Duncan swore under his breath. This is getting dangerous. Maybe we should go to the police. With what? I demanded. Our evidence is gone. It's her word against mine, and she's got half the family convinced I'm just jealous. Then we get new evidence, Wayne said firmly. Tonight. How? She keeps everything on her laptop, everything. He pulled out his phone. She's at Mum and Dad's, probably will be all night. Her laptop's at our apartment. I stared at him. You want to break in? It's my apartment too. He twirled his keys. Not breaking in if I have the key. 2 hours later, we were in their apartment, Wayne keeping watch while Duncan worked his tech magic on Laurel's laptop. Got it, Duncan whispered finally. Everything. Bank records, emails, even messages from her bookie. She owes them $500,000. $500,000? Wayne's voice cracked. But your money? She lost it gambling, I realized. Then stole from me to try to win it back? A key turned in the lock. We froze as Laurel's voice drifted in. I just need to grab something, Mum. I'll be right back down. Wayne shoved us toward the bedroom. Hide! From the closet I watched through the slats as Laurel entered, heading straight for her laptop. She stopped dead. The screen was still open to her secret email account. No, she whispered. Then louder, no! Her phone rang. She answered on speaker, hands shaking. Time's up, a male voice said. Where's our money? I'll have it, she promised frantically. After the wedding. The wedding's not happening, the voice cut her off. We're shutting this down. Tomorrow. The line went dead. Laurel sank to her knees, sobbing. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Then she straightened up, wiping her eyes. Fine, she said to the empty room. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, big sister. She grabbed her laptop and left. In the silence that followed, Wayne's whisper echoed my thoughts exactly. What the hell have we gotten ourselves into? The rehearsal dinner venue buzzed with nervous energy. I stood in the bathroom gripping the sink while Duncan's voice came through my earpiece. The backup files are uploading, but something's wrong. The connection keeps dropping. Fix it, I hissed. We've got one shot at this. A knock at the door made me jump. Isabel? Mum called out. Honey, they're waiting for the maid of honor speech practice. I adjusted my dress and stepped out, nearly colliding with Ellie. Watch it, she snapped, then lowered her voice. Whatever you're planning, don't. There are some scary-looking guys in suits by the bar. They're watching you. Before I could respond, she hurried away. I glanced toward the bar. She was right. 2 men in dark suits stood unnaturally still, their eyes tracking movement across the room. Duncan, I whispered. We've got company. Laurel's friends are here. Get out of there, he urged. This is too dangerous. But Laurel was already clinking her glass, calling for attention. Before we start the official rehearsal, my amazing sister has prepared a little speech practice. The room turned to me expectantly. I caught Wayne's eye across the tables. He gave me a subtle nod. Actually, I started, I'd like to show a special video I've put together first. If someone could help with the projector. No! Laurel jumped up too quickly. I mean, let's save that for the wedding day. More special that way, right? One of the suited men started moving toward the AV equipment. The files are corrupted anyway, Duncan said in my ear. Something's blocking the upload. Mum stood up, sensing tension. Girls, everything okay? Perfect. Laurel smiled too brightly. Isabel was just about to tell everyone how happy she is for me. Right, sis? I looked around the room. Dad, who hadn't spoken to Laurel since discovering the truth. Mum, still blissfully unaware. Wayne, who'd barely touched his food. The suited men, hands in their jackets. Actually, I said clearly, I'd like to tell a story about trust. Laurel's face went white. Duncan, I whispered through clenched teeth. Tell me you've got something. Working on it? Wait. Got it. Check your phone. I pulled out my phone just as Laurel lunged for it, but she was too late. I'd already connected it to the venue's speakers. Her voice filled the room. I don't care what it takes. Get me more time or I swear I'll disappear with every cent. The recording cut off as Laurel knocked the phone from my hand. It skittered across the floor, landing at the feet of one of the suited men. Enough, he said, picking up my phone. His accent was thick, Eastern European maybe. Outside, both of you, now. Nobody's going anywhere. Wayne stood up. I've called the police. The second suited man laughed. You think the police can help? Your fiancé owes very powerful people a lot of money. Mom's voice shook. Laurel? What's he talking about? It's not what you think, Laurel pleaded. I can explain everything. Explain how you stole from your sister, Dad finally spoke, or how you gambled it all away. The room erupted in gasps and murmurs. The money's gone, Laurel admitted, tears streaming down her face. I lost it all trying to win back what I took from Isabel. These men, they said they'd help me win it back, but the interest kept growing. Enough talking, the first man growled. Outside, now. That's when the lights went out. In the darkness, I heard scuffling, screams, and a familiar voice in my ear. Run! Side exit now! Duncan. He'd killed the power. I felt a hand grab mine, Wayne pulling me toward the exit. Behind us, chaos erupted as phones lit up the darkness and people started shouting. We burst into the alley behind the venue. Duncan was waiting in his car, engine running. Get in! He yelled. Wait! Laurel's voice rang out. She stood in the exit doorway, mascara streaking her face. Please, help me! Police sirens wailed in the distance. Why should we? I demanded. Because I'm your sister, she sobbed, and I'm sorry, I'm so, so sorry. The suited men's voices echoed from inside, getting closer. I looked at Wayne, then Duncan, then back at my sister, terrified, desperate, but for the first time in months, honest. Get in the car, I said finally. As we sped away, I saw the suited men emerge into the alley in my side mirror. The police sirens grew louder. What now? Wayne asked from the back seat, where he sat with a trembling Laurel. My phone buzzed, a text from Dad. Get somewhere safe. I'll handle things here, call you soon. Now, I said. We fix this, all of it. But looking at Laurel's tear-stained face in the rearview mirror, I wondered if anything would ever really be fixed between us. 3 hours later, we sat in Duncan's lake house, 30 miles outside the city. Laurel hadn't stopped shaking since we arrived. Start from the beginning, I demanded. Everything. She wrapped her hands around a mug of coffee. It started small, taking a little money here and there to play poker online. I was good at first, winning more than losing. Then you lost big, Wayne said flatly. She nodded. I met these guys at an underground casino. They offered to stake me, said I had potential, the interest rates were insane, but I was desperate to win back what I'd taken from you. My phone rang. Dad, you're all over the news, he said when I answered on speaker. The police arrested those men outside the venue. They're connected to a major gambling ring. Are Mom and the guests okay? Laurel asked. Your mother's in shock, Dad's voice hardened. The wedding guests have quite a story to tell. Dad, save it. The police want to talk to both of you. They're offering Laurel a deal if she helps them take down the gambling ring. Duncan, who'd been typing furiously on his laptop, spoke up. I've recovered everything. Bank records, threats, all of it. It's enough to prove the theft, but also enough to show Laurel was being extorted. I never meant for it to go this far, Laurel whispered. I was going to pay everything back. With what money? I exploded. My money? The money you stole from my business? The money I worked years to earn while you were living it up and lying to everyone? I know, she shouted back, jumping up. I know I'm terrible. I know I ruined everything. You think I don't hate myself? You think I don't see how I destroyed my life, hurt everyone I love? Then why didn't you just ask for help? Wayne's quiet question cut through her hysteria. She sank back down. Because I was ashamed. Because Isabel was always the successful one, the responsible one. I wanted to prove I could be something too. By stealing from me? By being more than just your shadow? Tears streamed down her face. Do you know what it's like? Everyone always comparing us. Why can't you be more like your sister? Look how well Isabel's doing. I wanted to be special too. The room fell silent except for her sobs. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Please tell me my girls are safe. We need to go to the police, I said finally. Tonight. I'll lose everything, Laurel whispered. You already did that yourself, Wayne replied, standing up. I'll drive. At the police station, everything happened quickly. Laurel gave her statement while Wayne and I provided evidence. The detectives seemed particularly interested in the gambling ring connection. Your sister's cooperation will help her case, one detective told me, but the theft charges... I want to drop them, I heard myself say. Everyone stared at me. What? Laurel gasped. On one condition, I turned to her. You get help. Real help. For the gambling addiction. And you pay back every cent, even if it takes years. Why would you do this for me? She asked, voice breaking. After everything I did. Because you're my sister. And because... I took a deep breath. Because I remember when we were kids making jewelry together. You weren't in my shadow then. We were just sisters who loved each other. Dawn was breaking as we left the station. Mom and Dad were waiting outside. My babies, Mom cried, pulling us both into a hug. Dad stood back, his face stern but eyes wet. The wedding guests have been told there was a security threat. The truth stays in the family. I'm so sorry, Laurel told them. To everyone. Wayne cleared his throat. I should go. Wait, Laurel called after him. I understand if you never want to see me again, but I need time, he cut her off. To process everything, to decide if I can ever trust you again. As he walked away, Laurel turned to me. That's fair. More than fair. I need to earn back everyone's trust. Starting now, Dad said firmly. Let's go home. Duncan, who'd been quietly watching everything, touched my arm. You okay? I looked at my family. Broken but not destroyed. Damaged but not beyond repair. No, I admitted, but I will be. We all will be. As we drove home in the early morning light, Laurel spoke softly from the back seat. I know it doesn't fix anything, but thank you for saving me from those men, for giving me a chance to make things right. I caught her eye in the rearview mirror. Don't waste it. She nodded, and for the first time in months, I saw my little sister again, not the thief, not the liar, but the girl who used to string beads with me on our bedroom floor. The road to forgiveness would be long, but at least now we were on it. The bell above my shop door chimed. I looked up from my workbench to see Laurel standing there, clutching an envelope. Your payment for this month, she said, placing it on the counter. She'd been working 2 jobs, receptionist by day, waitress by night, making steady payments on her debt. How's the counselling going? I asked, returning to the delicate necklace I was crafting. Good. Really good, actually. She lingered by my workbench. That's beautiful. Reminds me of the ones we used to make. I hesitated, then pushed over a box of beads. Want to help? Her eyes lit up. For the next hour, we worked in comfortable silence, just like when we were kids. The familiar rhythm of selecting beads, threading wire, and crafting clasps filled the space between us. Wayne called yesterday, she said finally. My hands stilled. Oh? He's seeing someone new. I told him I'm happy for him. She carefully placed a finished bracelet on the counter. And I meant it. He deserves better than what I was. And what are you now? A work in progress. She managed a small smile. My counsellor says acknowledging that is important. The shop door chimed again. Duncan walked in, then stopped short, seeing Laurel. Don't leave on my account, she said, standing. I was just dropping off this month's payment. Actually, Duncan said, I'm glad you're here. Show her, Isabel. I pulled out my tablet, opening the business spreadsheet I'd been working on. The online orders have tripled since we launched the new collection. I need help managing it all. Laurel's breath caught. What are you saying? I'm saying I need an assistant. Someone who knows the business. Part-time minimum wage to start. All transactions monitored by Duncan's accounting firm. You'd trust me? After everything? Trust is earned, I said firmly. This is a chance to earn it. But one wrong move. There won't be, she interrupted. I swear on my life. Good, because Mom and Dad are coming by later to see the new shop layout, Duncan mentioned casually. Might be nice if their daughters were both here. After he left, Laurel touched one of the necklaces we'd just made. Remember when we used to price these at $5 and thought we were going to be millionaires? We didn't know anything about business back then. No, she agreed, but we knew about being sisters. The afternoon passed quickly as we worked together, falling into an easy rhythm. When Mom and Dad arrived, they found us laughing over an old photo of our first jewellery sale. A lemonade stand where we sold painted macaroni necklaces. Now this is what I've been praying for, Mom said, tears in her eyes. Dad examined our latest creations. These are gorgeous. You two always did bring out the best in each other's work. When we weren't bringing out the worst in each other, Laurel added softly. The past is past, Dad said, squeezing her shoulder. It's what you do from here that matters. Later, closing up shop, I found a small package on my workbench with a note. Found this in my old things. Remember when you lost it? I'm sorry I lied about the cat breaking it. L. Inside was my 8th grade science fair medal, slightly tarnished, but intact. My phone buzzed, a text from Duncan. Dinner tonight to celebrate the new business partnership? I smiled, texting back, make it family dinner. All of us. Another message popped up, this time from Laurel. Thank you for giving me a chance to be your sister again. I looked at the medal in my hand, then at the shop around me. The business I'd built nearly lost, and was now sharing on my own terms. The betrayal would always be part of our story, but it didn't have to be the end of it. I texted back, "Thank you for becoming someone worth trusting again." The bell chimed one last time as I locked up. Through the window, I saw Laurel waiting by her car, ready to drive us to dinner. She'd changed so much from the desperate woman who'd stolen from me, yet in some ways, she was more herself than she'd ever been. We'd both learned hard lessons about trust, forgiveness, and the true cost of redemption. But standing there, watching the sunset reflect off the shop window where Sisters' designs now gleamed in fresh gold lettering, I knew we'd finally found our way back to what mattered most. Not the jewellery we made, but the bond we'd broken and rebuilt, stronger than before. I stepped out into the evening, ready to join my family. Not perfect, but perfectly ours. "Ready?" Laurel asked. "Ready," I replied, meaning so much more than dinner. We were ready to be sisters again,